What's the single best bang for your buck upgrade you can make to any bicycle? Tires! Hey, my name's Owen. I'm one of the worker owners here at Urbane Cyclist, and today we're going to be discussing the single best upgrade you can make to any bike. Tires. So chasing upgrades on bikes can be a slippery slope. Trying to shave grams to get marginal gains is a very expensive game to play. Tires are fundamentally one of the best and easiest upgrades to any bike. Where the rubber meets the road or trail will be the single most impactful change you can make and will likely be one of the best bang for your buck upgrades to just about any bike, period. In this video, we're going to talk about a few common misconceptions about tires, along with considerations before you buy your next pair. We're going to dig into some of our favorite choices and talk about some of the nuance between tread, compounds, and shapes. One of the reasons I get so excited about tires is it's a really great way to try new things, ride new places and terrain, and it's a fantastic way to reinvent the bike you love over and over. Tires are consumable, so since you'll be continually wearing them out and you'll need to replace them at some point or another, you might as well try something new while you're at it. But of course, if you are spending your hard-earned money on something new, it never hurts to do a little extra research, spend a little more time and care into these new choices. So, having tried many different tires myself over the years, I found there were kind of two rough categories to break down tires. And firstly, do you want your tires to be puncture resistant, or do you want them to have a nice ride quality? Traditionally, puncture resistant meant heavier, maybe slower, but super reliable and long wearing, making tires in this category great for commuting and long distance touring. Tires in the nice ride quality category often meant they're very lightweight, they're supple, they're smooth riding with great traction and deflection, but much less durability and less reliability, or in other words, more prone to punctures. Tires often have various levels of lingo, proprietary technology, and marketing to try to entice you. But the bottom line is, in the past number of years, tires have come a long way. You'll now be able to see more supple casings, now often utilized on high volume and more diverse tread patterns for a wide array of usage cases, where they were formerly only available to mass market on road performance or like race day quality tires. There are a few things to consider when you are looking at tires. Firstly, casing. So just like the thread count when choosing bed sheets, a higher TPI usually is an indicator of higher quality and lighter casings. Some tires opt for a lightweight sidewall to save weight and improve ride quality, while others may opt for a little more puncture protection in this area to avoid potential flats from sharp rocks when you're riding off-road. Secondly, compound. Tires may have firmer compounds used for touring tires and softer compounds used for racing or performance tires. Compound choice can be difficult to cross-compare between different brands of tires due to proprietary technology they each use. Thirdly, puncture resistance. Some tires rely more on a puncture-resistant belt below the tread to have extra defense against punctures. Schwalbe tires have very good graphic documentation with a great rating system to help consumers understand the differences between their different tires. Fourth, we have tread pattern. So tread pattern is often linked most directly to intended usage and will likely be one of the most apparent and easiest things to understand when it comes to comparing differences between various tires. Of course, we have sizing. So tires obviously come in many different sizes, but sizing isn't quite an exact science. The rim dimension can affect the overall width and also the height of the tire, so making significant changes will also modify the bike geometry, either raising or lowering the bottom bracket, the axles, and even the top tube. This can also be a consideration for fit, but even handling. Bike frame clearance with and without fenders is also a very major factor. Sixth, we have tubeless compatibility. We won't be discussing this at length here, but it's an important consideration for many tire purchasers. It's important to note that tubeless compatibility means you can still run tubes without any issue. Seventh, we have the bead. So the bead of the tire is the part that actually locks it into the rim. Tires can come with steel wire beads or folding, usually made from aramid or Kevlar. Tubeless tires are always folding, but not all folding beads are tubeless compatible. Folding tires can be a little trickier to install, but they're easier to store, they're easier to ship, so they can be a great choice as a backup or also for an extended tour. Some of our classic choices for more pavement-oriented riding would be something like the Schwalbe Marathon with Green Guard. This tire has a puncture-resistant belt that runnings along the center of the tread to resist flats and is a great choice for a no-nonsense commuter. It's available in many sizes, it's rated for e-bikes even. Green Guard refers to the level of puncture resistance here, but it's also worth noting these newly updated tires are now made with 70% recycled materials. A great middle ground option for someone looking for a little more compliance and a smoother ride quality at a very fair price would be the Panaracer Pasela Pro Tight, or PT. This is a classic looking Japanese made gum wall tire made with a very compliant sidewall, but with the PT puncture protection, it's going to give reliability over the base model, which we don't stock, but reducing overall weight for very nimble and grippy tires. I love this tread. It's also available as a folding option, which is not tubeless compatible. Both of these options would maintain what we'd consider a very round profile, and they're more oriented towards paved riding, but are still capable on some light gravel, some dirt roads, or even crushed gravel paths. So if you're looking to dive a little deeper into some variable terrain or have the need for speed, you might want to get a look at the GravelKing tires from Panaracer. These are very competitively priced. They come in many sizes, variable treads, and even have some fun limited edition colors, and of course, are also made in Japan. These are going to be less puncture resistant than the Pasela PT we were just looking at, so they're not necessarily a top choice for an urban environment where we obviously see lots of glass and construction debris littering the road. This means they would fit into a I want a nice ride category instead of the overall durability. But they are also tubeless compatible, so if you want to increase their durability, that's a great choice for you. One thing that we're seeing is people having fun and doing a little mix and match, or sometimes we refer to it as a mullet style setup, to customize and tune their ride precisely for their chosen riding style and area. They may opt for the more aggressive shoulder knob of the GravelKing SK for their front tire to help dig in a little more aggression while cornering on loose or wet terrain, but they may opt for the GravelKing semi-slick as a rear tire to keep things rolling a little more smooth and fast over gravel paths. Is it the best of both worlds? You may just have to try for yourself to see. Vittoria's Terreno series offerings are a great comparison to the GravelKing tires. They have a few interesting and distinct features that really set them apart and are also perfect for mixing and matching. So both the Terreno Dry and the Zero are both intended for overall dry conditions. And they both utilize a unique hexagonal scale type tread that has a light angle that rolls smoothly, but also gives incredible grip under pedaling forces. We can see the Terreno Zero keeps a smoother center section for less technical riding. A faster or more round profile means you can transition from that center to shoulder tread on open country roads and at speed. On the Terreno Dry, we see the scale texture is at the center of the tread. This is comparable to other file tread type treads we see in cyclocross, with a little more open and deep shoulder lugs for increased traction and control. A combination of the Zero as a rear and the Dry as a front would be an aggressive and fast combination on any gravel setup. We see increased depth of lug on the tread of the Terreno Mix, which would be catering towards better performance in wet or muddy conditions, but the deeper tread is also going to be a little slower on the fine gravel and less stable to corner when on pavement or riding on the road at speed. All of these tires are tubeless compatible and also use Graphene 2.0. This will lower rolling resistance, give you better grip and increased durability, and they also all have a 120 TPI casing with increased sidewall protection, so these are ready for whatever you want to throw at them. So I'm currently enjoying some Continental Terra trail, which have gone against my kind of previous durable versus nice ride quality. It seems these have found a very nice balance, offering both with very little sacrifice. These are also available in a few sizes, and there's also a Terra Speed with a slightly narrower tread profile and very slightly closer tread spacing. Both of these tires are fantastic and very durable choices with very consistent and predictable ride quality. They're an overall round profile with a very evenly spaced lugs across the center and towards the shoulder, both with a slightly more pronounced shoulder tread, but with a touch broader spacing on the Terra trail for extra bite. This means they have a very predictable and fast cornering on hard-packed dirt and even pavement, but also enough bite on the shoulder so you can count on traction when things get loose. These tires are some of my favorite I've ridden to date. They have Continental's signature black chili compound with heavy-duty casing that's even rated for e-bikes up to 25 miles per hour, and they're even tubeless compatible to boot. If there's one tire to encourage you to splurge on, this would be it. Another fun fact, they also come with black sidewalls. How can we talk tires and not mention Ultradynamico? These tires are made in Japan and have two main tread designs, the Cava and the Rosé. The Cava is effectively a file tread shoulder with a consistent and low-level chevron center tread, which is ideal as a speedy road and mixed terrain tire, offering a little more tread protection than a traditional lightweight slick. The Rosé is the more aggressive of the two, with even and elevated center chevrons with a subtle recessed file tread along the center tread as well. The outer tread has elevated triangles and chevrons with cutouts for additional grip and control. There are 3 casing versions on both of these tires, albeit with somewhat of a mystery as far as the actual specifics on the respective TPI numbers. So first up we have the Race. The Race is the lightest and least puncture resistant. They're also the fastest choice, and we do not stock these tires. Next up, we have the Just for Funs, the JFFs, and these are the mid-level offering with a nice little extra puncture resistance. And lastly, we have the Robusto, their most puncture resistant tires. These are another great example of very fun tires to mix and match depending on where and how you ride. They can combine to give you the perfect mullet setup. The Rosé handles the braking business and extra traction in the front, and the Cava keeps you rolling quick in the rear. A great choice for long, spirited mixed terrain rides with a little tech thrown in. Bottom line, you should have fun and experiment with your tire selection, and feel free to ask any additional questions you have in the comment section below. Hit up your local bike shop if you need any assistance determining your ideal tire clearance for your bike, and we hope your newfound love of bike tires inspires you to try some new and fresh rubber and unlock the potential your bike has. If you're interested in picking up any of the tires we've discussed in this video, all the links are in the description below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.